Constellation, Last Stand Media's conversational podcast, is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our podcast network, head to patreon.com/laststandmedia.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Constellation, maybe the worst one we'll ever do. We don't know till it's done. I am your unwitting host, Micah Moriarty. This was not supposed to be this way. I wasn't supposed to host, but this is how it all shook out. I have a wonderful group with me today, and I'm very excited. This is something, maybe my hat is a hint to the video watchers. Well, I guess you saw the title. Never mind. It's already been spoiled. We're doing another mini-D&D campaign. This was highly requested by the audience after the one we did back in summer. And let's go around and introduce our guests, starting with Ben Smith. Welcome to the game, my friend. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited about this particular lineup. I am positive we've never had this particular lineup on Constellation or any show. So that's exciting. And I'm always down for some D&D. After you did the last one, I was like, Micah, I want to be in on the next one. I don't know if I'll be any good, but I want to be in. So yeah, thanks for putting it together.
Certainly. And yeah, I remembered that you wanted to be on the next one. I tried my best to offer the spots to people who weren't previously able to participate. Of course, our next guest, Lockmort, was present for the last one. Lockmort, though, is maybe our most flexible guest in terms of scheduling. So when I was struggling to fill the chairs for this day as we're doing our holiday prep, literally, we had to make a third recording account for this week because we have the Dukes recording today, a Sacred Symbol spoiler cast recording today, we're recording today. I had no participants, and I said, Locke, you were so good on the last D&D. I gotta have you here. What do you say? What did you say, Locke?
Well, first of all, thank you for calling me and a backup and a loser, but that's
yeah. He has nothing else going on, is what I heard.
No,
thank you, Micah.
No.
Honored to be here. Thank you.
I simply wanted to offer the seats to people primarily who couldn't be here last time.
Of course. No,
but even those people were too cool for this. So thanks, Locke.
I'm not cool. Okay, well, you're doing great, Micah. Nice to see you.
I know I'm gonna have no friends after this, but that's fine. It is what it is. This is the cost of doing showbiz, baby. Now, in our third chair, our third victim to my little game today. If I could do better impressions, I'd do a "Would you like to play a game" from Saw, but I've never seen it, so I don't know what he sounds like. He could be like, "Would you like to play a game?" I wouldn't know.
Honestly, when you said welcome to the game to Ben, I was thinking that it sounded a little bit like we were being invited to Saw or another indie movie where we were all going to die in increasingly absurd ways. But I'm excited about this. I have no idea what this is going to be like. I didn't catch the first one, so this is a mystery to me.
Excellent. Yeah, Rick Hogue, everybody, with his lawyerings. He is ready to strike down whatever, traps I have laid for the group. Maybe he'll throw out an objection. You didn't specify that. We're gonna find out. Now, gang, who has experience playing like real D&D?
Me.
Ben.
I wouldn't characterize it as real D&D, but for folks that know me, we did a couple of seasons of a show called Lawyers and Dragons on my channel where we had lawyers go through fantasy elements and try to solve problems. And so I have played a lot of this in the recent past.
Excellent. Yeah, what we're doing here today, a very simple campaign that I've written. We're going to have, some battles. I'm going to, roll dice. You guys, you can roll your own virtual dice if you'd like for the choices. We've got that all set up. But here's the deal. After the mini campaign, I said, maybe we'll try and play like a real game of D&D. Colin has all the books and everything. And I read that book for 20 minutes and I was like, this is madness. All right. This is way too much. I'm asked, you guys got to create characters and stats and percentage points. And I was like, this is crazy. So we're not doing that. we're sticking to Baby's First D&D, in which I wrote a silly campaign, and we're just gonna go through all the choices and see how it comes out. There's multiple endings. All right, there's different things that can play out here, so I'll be excited to see where you guys land. I hope you guys get the good ending. Last time we didn't. Last time Lockmort perished.
Yeah.
And didn't get to go to Cracker Barrel. So we're gonna see how this one goes. Are we ready, gents, to dive in? Yes.
I just wanted to say real quick, I appreciate the approach of screw it, there's too many rules. Because D&D for so long, like I raised my hand when you asked who had experience. It's not like I have a ton, but I've definitely played over the years. But the thing about older D&D is it got so convoluted, and there are a lot of things going on in D&D, don't get me wrong. But in the newest edition of D&D that came out a few years ago now, don't get me wrong, it's still convoluted. There's still a lot of things to know, a lot of information. But one of the things they really tried to stress was Dungeon Masters, your only job in this game is to just make sure people have fun. And if that comes at the cost of the rules, that's fine. So that spirit that you have of screw it, I'm doing my own thing is in the line of D&D, in my opinion. Very much so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I think I've only ever played with some form of house rules.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, dude, it's like when Colin made me play Monopoly the right way. And I was like, this is garbage. My sister and I always did, like, if you land on free parking, okay, backing it up. Whenever you get community chest or chance, the money goes in the middle if you have to pay a fine. You land on free parking, you get the money. Our games of Monopoly would take like 3 days. And Colin was like, well, no wonder why, you're influencing the economy. So he and I play Monopoly, and it takes like 20 minutes, and it was horrible. I was like,
that sounds about right to me, actually.
Yeah, like, dude, when at Thanksgiving with my cousins as a kid, we would literally have Monopoly games going for 2 to 3 days. Grandma would be the officiator she would pick up the board, put it in a safe place. We would all keep our money on our person to make sure there was no tampering.
I like to think Colin was giving you a speech about inflationary effects on the economy in Monopoly.
It came up, yeah. Yeah, it absolutely came up because he's explaining why it doesn't work. And I was like, this is just a load of, this is bogus. All right. This is bogus is what it is. All right. Well, gents, let me pull up my script here, and we're going to dig right in. Ho, adventurers! Standing before me today, we have the illustrious Lockmort, the judicious Rick, and the beguiling Ben. The wizard, Mondale, has hired your party to convey a magical artifact to a mage in a far-off region. The journey will be perilous, but the wizard, in addition to your payment, has generously offered each of you one of his potions to aid you on the journey. Here are your choices. You each get to choose one. A mysterious cup, a shadowy bag, a horn of uncertain origin. Go around the horn, starting with Ben. Which one do you choose?
Well, you called me beguiling, which I've been described as the deceptive part, but never the charming part before. So I'm going to say I'll choose the mysterious bag.
Okay, the shadowy bag.
Shadowy bag.
Rick, which one do you choose?
I'm going to grab the horn of uncertain origin.
All right, Lockmort, third choice to you. Which one would you like?
Well, there's only the cup left, right? So I'll take the cup.
I didn't specify that, but if you'd like to see what each one is, that would be more fun.
Yeah, well, I'll take the cup for sure.
All right.
There are multiple of each item. This is magic, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start out with the mysterious cup for Lockmort.
Oh.
The wizard brings forth a mouthwash cap full of bathroom tap water. You down the shot with apprehension, but feel the mighty potion begin to work in you. You will be granted immunity from one normal attack.
Ooh, thank you.
All right. And next, the shadowy bag for Ben. The wizard produces from his sleeve a freezer bag full of breast milk. You greedily drink the secretions of the unknown bosom and feel a tingle in your own breast. Your heart has been fortified. You will be granted 10 extra HP.
Okay.
Let me just write that down. Oh, yeah. You guys all start with 25 HP, by the way. I I kind of loosely did the math on, yeah, I think this is enough to get you through the game unless you do something horrible. But in reality, it kind of got away from me. All right, the horn for Rick. The wizard brings out a horn with shining gold accents. He bids you to drink the liquid inside the horn, which turns out to be a lovely store-brand cola. Your eyes open wide. For a moment, you see everything in slow motion. You have been given the gift of foresight.
Wow.
You will be guaranteed one heavy strike during a battle of your choosing. All right.
Nice.
So you guys will get to use these at your discretion. Okay. So, well, except Ben, like you got the extra HP. So Rick, during a fight, you can say, I want to use the horn, and then you get one heavy strike. Lockmort, yours is that you can get immunity from one normal attack. So if you have a low roll and I say you lose X amount of HP, you can say, I want to use my item, and we'll check it off. They're each one use only. All right. The wizard has charted a map for your party. You will depart from his tower and head west to the nearest town to purchase new weapons. Weapons here, stabby things for sale. You each can choose one weapon, and you can choose the same one. It doesn't matter. A flail, a sword, or an axe. Ben, which do you choose?
I think I'm gonna go with the axe. It's more versatile, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about my process here, so that other people can choose with regard to that, and also to soak up some time. But I think that if we encounter an obstacle in our way, the axe may be good to bludgeon it out of the way, to cut through it, and also just to chop down some enemies if there are any. I'm assuming there will be.
Oh, there's gonna be. Yeah.
Okay.
Lockmort, which weapon do you choose?
I want the flail because I don't know what it is. Is that like a stick with like a bow on it? Is that what I'm thinking of?
That was my understanding of what it was.
Yeah. Oh, I'll have the bow with the stick because
All right.
because I think that gives me some range. I think.
Think
Yes.
of Brigitte. It's like Brigitte.
Oh
almost.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll pick that. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Third choice goes to Rick. What do you have, sir?
Well, as long as we don't mind duplicates, I'm going to take a flail as well. I mean,
Ooh,
I also love the flail because I always got it confused as a kid with a morning star. Didn't know the difference, didn't know which one was which. But yeah, you strap a metal ball on the end of a chain, put it on the end of a stick, I'm all in. Let's do it.
All right,
It's really
yeah,
surprising, Rick. A lot of kids are really up to date on their flail Morningstar differences. So
When you play a lot of RPGs, you have to get that down.
yeah.
This is like the caveman appeal weapon, though, right? Like there's something very, very special about it.
Mhm.
Okay. Your party now departs from the busy town and heads toward the verdant forest path. The wizard's map notes a waterfall in the area, which legend says has an item of great power hidden behind it. Party choice. Would you like to investigate the waterfall?
Is there ever a time when we don't want to investigate a waterfall, gentlemen?
No, we have to. Yeah.
I think we have to, but I would like to know, some details about the surroundings, like how deep is the water in front of the waterfall? Is it a rock wall or is it like a forest wall, or what's going on here?
It appears that the water is knee deep, so
Okay.
you shouldn't be in too much danger when you're approaching this river. It appears to be shallow, and yes, this forest path here, it appears by all accounts to be a normal waterfall.
Okay.
She's using a lot of appears, gentlemen.
She is using a lot of appears, but we can only take her at her word. Walter Mondale, the former vice president of the United States, would not lie to us as the wizard.
I actually have all sorts of questions. We have a magic artifact we're taking across the land. Do we know what it is?
No.
What is the container that we are bringing it in? Is it an opaque box? Is it a bag?
It's the Ark of the Covenant.
I believe I wrote in my notes that it was a wooden box. This is like draft number 3.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah,
All
I
right.
say we investigate the waterfall.
Well, we shall. The party chooses to venture off the wizard's course to see if the legendary artifact is still hidden behind the blanket of the falls. The party follows the faint sound of rushing water until the roaring of the waterfall can be heard. There is a path of stepping stones in the middle of the river that flows out from the falls. The clear water reveals that the riverbed is littered with the armor of previous adventurers who had sought the treasure. All right, now, Ben, this is all you. You lightly place a foot on the nearest stepping stone, getting a feel for how slick the rocks are. You must roll to determine if you can successfully hop the stones to the waterfall. We're using a 12-sided dice for this, Ben, so if you want to roll it, and let me know what you got.
I have rolled a 9.
A 9, all right.
Well, that's
You
good
hop
enough.
the stone path all the way to the waterfall. All right, let me now skip ahead here. One second.
Good roll, Ben.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Lots of training went into that roll. It's not as easy as it looks.
A booming voice beckons you. Oh, he who has crossed the rocks without wetting his socks. Answer this riddle, or you'll get diddled.
Oh.
I am
Wow.
Not again, Ben.
the riddle. I am salty, brown, and twisted round. What am I?
Are you are a pretzel?
Correct.
Wow.
The waterfall parts to reveal a small cave. A velvet bag sits in the middle of it. Ben retrieves the bag and returns to the party to open it. The bag reveals a Hitachi magic wand. It appears to be unsullied. This is very good. You want this item, I promise. All
Okay.
right?
Nice.
Ben's our bag man.
Yeah.
Bagman. Yeah. Can I put it inside of my shadowy bag since I already absorbed the HP?
Yeah. Put it in the bag. Put it in the bag. Ben hops back to the riverbank to regroup with the party. A ghastly voice hisses from the river's edge, "Going so soon?" The party turns to the direction of the voice and sees a most foul creature, a river mermaid. The mermaid snatches Ben's ankle and pulls him into the water. It is time to fight. Lockmort and Rick, which of you would strike first?
Have fun, Ben. Good luck. We move on.
It's too late. He's gone.
I'll strike.
Okay, Rick, we're using a 12-sided die if you want to roll, and let me know what you get.
I really hate river mermaids. I'd like to use my horn heavy attack.
Mm.
Ooh, already.
All right, we are going to use the heavy attack. A devastating blow connects with the mermaid's neck. She turns into a fizzing pile of muck as she makes a last effort to crawl ashore and slash at you with her sharp claws. As the creature disintegrates, a talisman is left behind in the foam, a blue seashell. You take the shell with you as a trophy. You help Ben out of the river. He is cold, but does not seem to be in danger. As Ben begins to utter his thanks, nothing comes out. The river's enchantment renders its victims silent. You will need to ask the nearby townsfolk about the accursed river to find out how to lift the blight. And I just gotta circle some things here. All right, Rick, use the horn. There we go.
It's like the Little Mermaid, Ben. You don't have a voice anymore.
Yeah, and it's also like the Little Mermaid, 'cause in the original one, I think she dissolves into a pile of goo.
Oh, it's a better version. That's a live
You
action.
know, those old-timey fairy tales were brutal. All right, the party arrives in town. The first person they see is a bard. They ask the bard if he has any knowledge of the river's curse and how to lift it. "Oh, yes, I know just the thing, but first, you must do something for me, wink, wink." The bard will give you information in exchange for a handy. Party choice, who will give themselves up to the bard?
Well, I mean, it's Ben's voice. So, I mean, that seems only fair that he does it, right?
I'll specify you don't have to, all right? You don't have to do it, but this is
let Ben do it. Let Ben do it. Just do it, Ben.
Well, then I say it's up to Ben.
It is up to Ben.
I know that most people who listen or watch our podcast know that I talk, but in real life, I almost never speak unless I have to. So if I'm translating my personal characteristics to this character, I would choose not to do that in order to regain my voice because I don't use it that much.
Oh,
We're going to skip ahead to the part of the guide that says no hand job choice because these are things I had to write. The bard says he was only joking. He will accept as payment 1 kiss. Party choice, who will give him the kiss?
I don't speak it, but I just step forward and do it because it's a better alternative.
All right, Ben gives the kiss. The bard tells the party that the enchantress, Lady Morag, can be found at her hut on the outskirts of the town. The party heads there directly. While leaving, the bard says, "My, you've done that before." The party scurries away.
Ooh.
It's a dirty
On
bard.
the way to... I had my recorder nearby to like play a song when you met the bard, but there was no way to muffle it. But the recorder, the American tradition of second graders, and it's the same one I've had since second grade, by the way.
Nice.
I've had it this whole time. The American tradition, these things are loud, screeching. Even as someone who's been playing this thing since age 7, you can't make it make a good sound. And I was like, there's just no way to play this without harming people.
I can just imagine you busting that out and playing it while they're recording the spoiler cast or whatever they're doing next door.
No, exactly right. You just hear a couple of toots from the other room. Okay, let me just scroll down here. Okay, on the way to the hut, a homeless man approaches you. He is leaning heavily on a walking stick. "Spare change, lads. Spare change." Party choice, do you give him any money? Feel free to discuss the, socioeconomic problems with giving panhandlers change.
Well, how much money do we have?
Yeah, I was going to ask
Do we
that.
know?
Yeah, you have plenty. Don't think about it.
Plenty. Oh,
We have plenty.
Why
We're
not
loaded.
then?
Yeah, they give us some, whatever.
Yeah.
You're gonna give
I
him some
agree.
money.
Let's give him a little handout.
All right. The party gives him some money. "I can't buy Coke with that." The homeless man gets into a fighting stance. He is spinning the walking stick like a propeller in front of him. Who chooses to tussle with the unhoused man?
I would like to offer him a potential sip of my horn, which I am told has stored lovely cola, which is, of
drank the
course, what he was
cola.
referring to.
Rick, you already drank the cola. It's gone.
There could be residue in there. The best I can do.
You better not get caught with that residue, Rick. The local town guard might have some questions.
I'll do it. I'll kick the homeless man.
Okay,
They're
now,
a flail. You don't need to kick them.
Oh yeah.
well, you guys got the Hitachi magic wand from the waterfall. This is the fight where you can use it. Do we choose to use the Hitachi magic wand?
Is this the only fight where we can use it?
Yes.
Well, then, I mean,
Well, we have to.
yeah, right? Yeah.
What are you going to do to this poor homeless person?
We're going to find out, Rick, aren't we? Lockmort, for this, you need to roll a 4-sided die.
All right.
I forgot I had that one special one in here.
It says 1, which is
A
not good, I
1.
assume.
Those are always good.
Oh, okay.
You touch the wand to the hobo's caboose. "Yabba dabba doo," he cries, "but I've had better than that." He strikes back. Lockmort loses 2 HP.
Hey.
You may roll one more time with this weapon, or switch to your default weapon.
Let's do it one more time, right?
Yeah, roll it one more time.
It can't all be ones.
Well, no, it's 3.
You touch the wand to the hobo's upper thigh. "Geez, crow, you gotta buy me dinner first." He attempts to strike you, but misses. He falls to the ground. The party takes the opportunity to poop in his panhandling cup. "Poop dollar," they yell as they run away.
Micah, can we take back the money we gave him?
You pooped on it.
Can we
Even
In
better.
your, in your fury, you pooped in the cup full of money. Do you want it? You want it back?
Depends on how much we gave him, I guess. But
You
we
gave
can leave
him.
it.
You gave him a tuppence, if
We
that's
can
a
leave
real
it.
thing.
We can leave it.
All right. The party arrives at Lady Morag's hut. There is a line out the door, and the party must wait a bit. When their turn finally arrives, they enter the hut and are greeted by the young enchantress. "Welcome, travelers. Is it a love potion you seek, or perhaps something to soothe IBS symptoms?" The party relays the tale of the mermaid encounter. The enchantress's expression turns grave. "I see. If you have the mermaid's talisman, we can heal him without delay. Otherwise, you'll need to return to the river and slay the mermaid." Now, we have these talisman. So Rick hands the blue seashell to Lady Morag. Most excellent. I will begin at once. And she grinds the seashell into a powder with her mortal and pestle. She then mixes a pinch of the powder into strong brewed tea. Drink and be cured, she says to Ben. But before she hands him the cup, a man bursts through the door and says, "Don't give those stingy fucks a thing." It's the homeless man from before.
Oh, damn.
The party does their best to explain their side, but the old man bellows, "They shat in my cup." His voice is going to change every time. I can't stick to a character. Because he went from being like really black to like this. "They shat in my cup." Lady Morag asks if it's true. Party choice. Do you fess up or do you try to lie?
What,
I don't know, guys. I think since we were told we pooped in his cup and we didn't get to choose that, we should try to say like some magical force did it to us or something instead of just saying, yeah, we did that. Because
We want to blame the DM?
yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. Oh, that's
you know, in game terms. Now I can't speak here, so you guys get the ultimate choice. But
Well, he did attack us first, so I think what we did to him was kind of justified. Maybe not the pooping. So yeah.
yeah, the pooping was a little extreme,
Yeah,
but
maybe yeah. So
That
what
is-
do you? So you?
I don't know
wanna
what
blame
got
him?
into us.
Yeah, well, you have to go. You have to go.
yeah, all three at once.
I'm inclined towards honesty, but then again, it's a magic lady who could do bad things to us.
That's what I'm scared of too. Well, so it comes down to me then, I guess. Let's make it interesting and lie and see what happens.
All right. With a knowing glance between the party, you decide to lie. Lockmort, roll a d12 to see if she believes you.
Uh-oh. 7.
You explain how it all happened from the very beginning with some embellishments to make you look a bit more sympathetic. The enchantress rolls her eyes and sighs. "Father, I'd say you got what you deserved." She hands Ben the tonic, and with a single gulp, his voice is restored. The party thanks her and exits the hut. The old man looks very displeased. He will not soon forget the travelers.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
All right. Okay. The evening hours approach, and the party must decide, shall you sleep at the nearest inn, or will you travel for an hour or two to the next town over and stay there?
do we get any benefits by resting?
You're going to find out.
A good night's sleep is always a benefit, Ben.
I'd
And
say
welcome
so.
back to your voice.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Is the consensus to stay at the local inn?
Sure.
Yes.
The party makes their way to the center of town and asks the innkeep for 3 rooms. "Can't do it. The furry convention is in town. I can give you 1 room with a twin bed." Do you guys accept the single room or do you travel on?
I can sleep on the floor. I'll sacrifice myself here. I'll
I
sleep
think
on
I
the
would
floor.
travel on, I'm going to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sure.
I mean, I'm always in
Perfect.
favor of less sleep because I hate myself. So I'd say we just go ahead and go the extra hour,
All right.
right?
Heading for the southern gate of the town, you will depart on the road to Sacarin, the town of
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to say real quick. Nothing that Micah has created at night is a good thing for us if we sleep in a strange place. All right. I'm just saying, like, not staying in a strange inn in a small bed is probably for the best.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'm going to lift the curtain a little here. You guys were all going to cram into the twin bed, so good choice. When Lockmort's like, "I'll sleep on the floor," and I'm like, "No, you won't." It's not what I wrote. All right, heading for the southern gate of the town, you will depart on the road to Sacarin, the town of beekeepers and sweets makers. You approach the town gate when 2 armed guards approach. "Halt! The gate is closed. We've a robber amidst. He's stolen the queen bees from the hives." Desperate for a meal and rest, you inquire if your party can be of service in exchange for being let in. "Brave folk are ye. Come in, come in. We seek a man in a blue cloak." There are 3 buildings left to search. You must find the thief before you can rest your weary legs. The party will search the buildings one by one. Beginning with the horse barn. Who will open the door to the barn?
I feel like a horse is going to kick or something. And since I have extra HP, I feel like I should be the one to lead this charge.
Open the horse barn, Ben.
Yeah.
Smart.
Ben opens the door. Kablam! He is knocked 10 feet backwards from the mighty kick of a horse.
Wow.
The party rallies around him. He is largely unharmed, though very sore. Ben loses 1 HP.
Not bad. I'll take it.
Wow, Ben, smart. Foresight.
There is
Great.
no sign of the man in the blue cloak. Next up, the outhouse. The party approaches the outhouse. There is an acrid scent in the air. Lockmort knocks on the door. No answer. Lockmort, will you open the door just to be sure no one's in there? Or will you check the next location?
Sure. Let's open a door. Let's see. There's already enough poop in this story, so a little more can't hurt.
Right, we're opening the door. Rick braces himself and puts a hand on the door to swing it open. Anybody home? He says, and he flings the door open. The outhouse is empty except for a pristine chili dog on the floor. Party choice. Do you eat it?
I would not be inclined to eat the floor chili dog in the outhouse.
Well, do we all eat it? Like we share it among the three of us? Is that the question?
You may choose to partake or not. It is up to you.
But
Block, you want to go halvesies on this?
Yes, that's what. Is it like a party decision, or can someone like an individual or two of us say, "Yeah, we'll do it"?
You got a kiss in the middle.
Yeah, you got. You're allowed to dissent, and whoever eats the chili dog eats the chili dog.
I have an axe, Rick. We don't have to eat it like spaghetti and Lady and the Tramp. We can cut it in half.
You could. You still could.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I say we go ahead and eat it. I have a feeling that the chili is not what it appears, but that's fine. We're hungry.
Okay. So Ben will eat it. Locke, are you going to take a bite?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, Rick, are you going to succumb to peer pressure? Or are you going to leave that chili dog alone?
I'm leaving this to them.
Okay. All right. Ben and Lockmort each take 1 bite of the chili dog. Their guts gurgle in unison, but they are not afraid. They feel the power of the wiener inside them. This will prove useful in another battle to come.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Lastly, we arrive at the bread baker's hut. The party approaches the hut. A lovely smell of fresh bread and salted pretzels greets them at the already open door. As they move through the doorway, Ben spies movement in the back of the hut. "Who goes there?" he exclaims as he draws his weapon. The rest of the party do the same. A low growling draws ever nearer as the fiend leaves the shadows. "Never should have come here," says the beast. Party get ready to strike as the thief... Oh, sorry. The party gets ready to strike the thief, and he is transformed into a werewolf. You've no silver weapons. One of you must go find the town guards and procure a silver weapon to defeat the werewolf. Who shall go?
I like how we broke into this building and then asked who was in there. We're like, "Hey, we're coming in.
Like,
what are you doing here?"
You're the cops, all right? This is how it works. You're looking for the bad guy. You're allowed to go wherever you want. But who will go to the town guard to get a silver weapon?
Well,
I am happy to volunteer my services to go and ask the guard for a silver weapon.
All right.
It probably
Rick?
would be best if it's Rick, because Rick has we both have a flail, and I still have my immunity thing, and you have more HP, but Rick already used his power, so it's probably best for him.
That mermaid had to go.
Yep.
All right. Rick runs at full speed from the bread baker's hut and back to the town gate to find the guards who had previously set them on this task. Lockmort and Ben will stay back and fight. Between the two of you, who will strike first?
I can keep my distance, I guess, with the flail, so I guess I'll go first, if that's okay with you.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's fine.
Roll a 12-sided die for this strike, Locke.
All right. That's 1. Great.
A glancing blow to the werewolf's thigh, slicing a few of his hairs off, but not doing any damage to his tough hide. The werewolf laughs and swipes his meaty clawed hand at Lockmort. Now, Lock, you're going to roll again to dodge the attack. Roll a 12-sided die.
All right. 11. That's better, right?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Lockmort dodges out of the way. Ben, it is your turn to strike. Roll a 12-sided die, please.
All right.
You got this.
It's a 6.
A 6. All right. A heavy swing of the axe. I didn't check the notes. A heavy swing of the axe blasts into the monster's caboose. He is too rattled to counterattack. At this moment, Rick appears in the doorway. He is gripping a silver-tipped spear that was given to him by the village guards. As Rick readies to strike the beast, it begins to speak. Help me, brave adventurers, for I have been cursed by a fell wizard, and he promised me a cure if I gave him the queen bees. Party choice, will you help the werewolf or will you strike him down?
I am very much in favor of helping the werewolf.
Well, he did attack us. He didn't need to do it. Is the werewolf like fully aware of what he's doing?
He's a werewolf, and typically in lore they are not.
All right.
Yeah, I got the impression he's breaking through right now to talk with his human side.
Oh, okay.
We're following Witcher 3 werewolf rules.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then save him. Yeah, sure. What do you think then?
Yeah, I think we save him.
Let's save that werewolf, Micah.
All right. The party hears the werewolf out. The wizard's curse can be broken if you gather 5 pieces of fool's parsley and weave them into a tunic for him to wear. The fool's parsley can be found in a nearby meadow. The werewolf agrees to be locked in the bread baker's hut until you return. Upon arriving at the meadow, the party begins looking for the fool's parsley. Suddenly, a wizard in a green cloak with deer antlers on his hat appears. You're trying to help Morkvarg, aren't you? I will not allow it. I shall have my queen bees. Party, get ready to attack. Who will strike first?
I have a question. Do I still have my silver spear?
Yeah, you still got it.
Okay.
I don't know if it matters. I didn't think that far ahead. But yeah, you got it. All right.
I'll take the first swing. Yeah, I'll do it.
Ben, roll a 12-sided die.
11.
Ooh.
All right. Ben, with all his might, strikes the wizard, dealing a devastating blow to his neck. The wizard slumps down to the ground, but he is not dead yet. Who will strike next, Lockmort or Rick?
Poop on him, like we did with the beggar.
There's no roll to poop.
Oh. Well, you still have the spear. What do you want to do, Rick?
Yeah, I can use the spear. Let's give it a try.
All right, Rick, roll a 12-sided die to stab with the spear.
Are you stabbing or are you throwing?
I am stabbing.
Okay, all right.
But you can do either one. A 6. Rick calls upon the woodland creatures, and they hear his plea. A herd of angry deer emerge from the forest and stampede towards the wizard. He is too slow to react, and they trample all over him. While he's lying on the ground, barely moving, Rick stabs him with the spear. Yet he still draws breath. Lockmort, the final strike falls to you.
This
Roll
guy,
a 12-sided die.
All right. Hey, it's a 1. I'm doing great.
Wow. That's a lot of ones.
Can you pull up a new roller website, Locke? I don't think that one's working out for you.
All right, well, he rolled a 1 this first time. Lockmort attempts to do a cartwheel before delivering the final blow. He slips a disc instead, losing 3 HP. The wizard coughs out a small laugh at your expense. Lockmort, roll again.
All right. 4.
Okay. Let me just see here. Lockmort does a perfect cartwheel this time before delivering the final blow.
With a slip disc.
Yeah.
The wizard lets out a weak gasp before disappearing. His robes lay on the ground in a heap.
Oh, great.
Okay.
So he's out there naked somewhere. That's going to come up later.
If we're attacked by a naked old man claiming to be a wizard, that'll be the day.
All right. The party finishes collecting the fool's parsley and returns to Morkvarg with it. Good, good. Yes, you have my thanks, he says. It will need to be woven into a tunic, and whence I don the tunic, I shall be cured. None of the party know how to sew. They'll need to find someone who can. The party heads to the town square to scout out a seamstress or a tailor's shop. Upon finding a fashionable storefront, they are greeted by a man in very fine garb. Oh, hello, travelers. You'll only find the finest garments here. You'll be positively serving, bussy. The party tells him that they need the fool's parsley woven into a tunic. It's no small task to dabble in lifting curses. I'll do it, but you must solve my riddle. The riddle is, yummy and sweet, a cold, tasty treat, but you can't have any unless you eat your meat. What is it?
I mean, it's either ice cream or pudding, right, guys?
My instinct was ice cream.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that directly has to do with meat.
Well, isn't there a song that says you can't have any pudding until you eat your meat?
Oh.
That would be news to me, but I'm not saying you are wrong.
Yeah, I believe you.
Can't
look it up, though.
No, I'm not looking it up. I'm just wondering if we should go with ice cream because that's what you guys think, or pudding because I have this weird hunch in the back of my head.
I have no idea. I'll go with pudding, too.
I'm all about weird hunches. Let's do pudding.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, the answer is pudding. A song reference. I was like, this is a group of people. One of them's going to be, old enough to figure out the song.
I'm not that old.
Yeah.
No, but like neither am I, and I wrote it. The answer is always just old enough. Like would Dustin have gotten it? I don't know. Very well then, I shall craft the tunic for you, says the tailor. All right. The party returns and presents the tunic to Morkvarg. He immediately puts it on, and the transformation is instant. A man he is once more. I cannot thank ye enough. I shall not forget this. Mark my words, I shall help ye someday. The party says goodbye to Morkvarg. They feel as if they will see him again someday. May chance it's because he just said it. The party now reports to the town guard. They hand over the queen bees that Morkvarg had stolen and leave out the fact that he's, a werewolf. It's all set now. Why do you have to tell him? Mercy me, you've done it. Thank ye, travelers. You may rest this night at the inn, no charge. The party finally gets to rest, and tomorrow they depart for the mountain path. Okay.
We're on our way.
The party awakes, refreshed, and ready for travel. They leave town and head for the mountain path that will lead them to the wizard that they are delivering the mysterious package to. As the party travels, they come across a barrel on the side of the path. It looks to be in good shape. Party choice, do you open the barrel?
All right.
Can we break it open with axes like video game characters?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're just gonna open it or not open it.
Just roll into it. Break it open.
All right. Well, let's open it.
Yeah.
All right. The party opens the barrel. It's a mime. Prepare to fight. The mime does a strange dance, and a golden aura envelops him. He's pretending to twirl a lasso, and he throws it right at Lockmort. The party laughs at first, until Lockmort feels the lasso tighten around his arms. The mime yanks the invisible rope. Lockmort falls to the ground, unable to move his arms. The mime readies another attack. Ben or Rick, which of you will strike?
I'd like to mime hitting him with my flail.
Oh.
All right, you'll need to roll a 12-sided die to do so.
Rick's going for the pacifist run here.
12.
Wow.
All right. Rick swings at the mime with all his might. The mime attempts to posture like he has a shield, but he's too slow. The bland lows squarely on his right hip. Oof! The mime cries out, and he sways a bit, trying to regain his balance. Ben, you're up. Roll a 12-sided die for your strike.
Could I? Okay, I'll just do what you said.
Or you can use an item if you want.
Well, what I was going to say was, could I break the rope? Could I swing my axe at the rope so we could have a third party member with an attack? But
no, we're not that sophisticated.
All right, that's fine. I got a 6.
Okay, a 6. Ben takes a crack at the mime, but he's a beat too slow. The mime is quickly building an imaginary brick wall around himself. The axe bashes against the wall, dislodging a brick, which hits the mime in the chest. Gah! You'll pay for that! His agitation is mounting. For a brief... Well, exactly. The cracks are showing. For a brief moment, the mime's concentration on Lockmort lapses, and the imaginary rope has lost its power. Lockmort leaps to his feet and readies to attack. Lockmort, roll a 12-sided die.
5.
Lockmort looks the mime in the eyes, and suddenly the mime understands. No, I didn't realize. I'm sorry. Please don't. I didn't know you were a member, but it's too late. Lockmort, with the precision of a surgeon, starts to mime that he's walking a dog. No! Anything but that, but Lockmort doesn't stop. Now he's miming that he and the dog are out to lunch. Stop! You've proven your point! But Lockmort isn't done. For the grand finale, he and the imaginary dog are soaring through the air on the King Dakar coaster at Six Flags Grand Adventure. Your power is too great! The mime screams in both horror and amazement. The aura which had enveloped him is flowing through the air to Lockmort. No! My strength! The mime utters his last and falls to the ground. The party looks at Lockmort with great wonder, curious what else he may be hiding from them. Meanwhile, the rival mime has shriveled into a prank Pringles can. The party takes it with them and continues on their way.
Nice.
So we have a Pringles can now. I really like the imagery of that whole battle, Micah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Lockmort being a mime. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
How dare you? I'm as far away from French people as I can. And
I just like the absurdity of your descriptions of his increasingly abstract mimes. It's like, what would that even look like being mimed?
So
I got nothing.
For research for this little game, I did Google classic mime tricks. And one of them, of course, came of like walking a dog.
Eating lunch with a dog, though, that was creative.
While walking, the party spies a broken down cart with some bagged goods on it. They doubt that there would be 2 traps on one trail, so Ben decides to inspect the cart. Lockmort suddenly yelps in pain and draws back from the cart as Ben is searching through it. A snake is seen hastily retreating from an open bag and into the bushes. Lockmort has been bitten, and they cannot determine what kind of snake it was. Party choice, do you leave the snake bite alone, or do you try to treat it?
Can I use my immunity? The cup?
No, you only have immunity to basic attacks.
Right, yeah, that was for a battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm checking my notes here. That's for one battle.
Damn it.
I would say we should definitely treat the snake. I would like to go try to pursue the snake so that we might identify what has poisoned Locke.
Suck it out. Where did
I know it's going to go to that. I know.
You don't know that, Ben. You don't know that. You don't know that.
Micah, where did he get bit?
He just got bit on the hand.
Okay. Then proceed however we want. Yeah.
With no medicine on hand, the party fans out to find fresh water. They come across a clear spring. Lockmort washes the bite in the water, while Rick brings back some peeled bark from a birch tree and wraps the wound with it. Lockmort feels no worse for wear. The party will continue on. I subverted your expectations. Subverted them.
Really did.
Damn.
What would have happened? No, you don't have to say. I just wonder what would have happened if we did nothing.
Oh, it would have been bad. Okay. All right. Let me just skip down ahead here. Sorry, one sec. I just lost my place in my notes. Let's just talk about snakes and snake bites and how cool they are.
Yeah.
And how they're like the coolest thing in the world.
Did we find anything in the cart though? Like
no, there was nothing in the cart except snakes.
Snakes. Just a bunch of bags of snakes, burlap full of snakes that apparently are very poisonous. It's pretty convenient.
You just got to know what kind of tree to wrap the wound in.
That's right.
Okay. On the path to the next town, which is called Draki, you suddenly see a fiend approaching. It is a hulking black panther with bright yellow eyes. Let me just see here. Who will attack first on this hulking panther?
I'd like to attack the panther.
All right, Rick.
Jungle cats, man.
Yeah.
You got to roll a 12-sided die.
All right. 2.
The panther is lightning fast. It dodges the attack and lashes out with its claws. Rick loses 3 HP.
Don't like it.
All right. Ben or Lockmort, who will strike next?
Avenge my 3 HP.
I'll go next, and then we can save Ben's axe for last, and that'll do the trick. If that's okay with
All
you,
right.
Ben.
Yeah, you knock it out. I'll finish it off.
Yeah. Exactly. 5 again. 5.
Okay, a 5. Lockmort begins to glow with a faint blue aura. He gathers up his sleeves and begins to dig an imaginary ditch between the party and the panther. He is overexerting himself. His party members beg him to rest, but he keeps digging with the imaginary shovel, sweat dripping from his brow. The path looks unchanged, but the party swears they can almost hear the dirt falling away. He goes to dig one last shovelful of dirt when he falls to the ground. The panther takes the opportunity to leap at the party, but it steps right into the ditch and plummets several feet down into the soft earth. It growls and hisses, but it is indeed trapped. The party, now noticing Lockmort's poor condition, suddenly with urgency says we must make it to the next town. As they arrive in town, they start shouting, "Help! Help! We need a physician!" An old woman steps out of her home, up the street, past the wishing well. You quickly shout your thanks and head at the direction she specified. At the physician, the party arrives to a large brick house with an apothecary sign out front. They hurry inside, and the apothecary senses their urgency. "What the devil has befallen ye?" The party explains everything from the snake bite they attempted to treat to the extreme miming that Lockmort was doing. "I've got potions that can help, but without knowing the exact cause, be it snake or exertion, he may only survive 1 dose of treatment." Now, Ben, you're going to roll to medicate Lockmort.
Okay.
We don't know what has befallen him. Is it that we didn't treat the snake bite correctly? Did he simply overdo it, miming, digging that ditch? But we have to try and treat him. Ben, roll a 12-sided die.
7.
A 7, okay. The apothecary selects the green potion and pours it into Lockmort's mouth. He sputters and coughs at the awful taste, but his color returns, and he's no longer sweating profusely. He is healed. Though, as he explains to the group, his miming powers have vanished. Perhaps that store of magical energy is what saved him. But nonetheless, he feels it in his heart. He can no longer mime. The party thanks the apothecary, pays him for the potion, and leaves the shop. They will rest tonight at the inn and continue on to the last leg of the journey tomorrow.
We've lost our super mime.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Lockmort, you've lost the power of the baguette. It has left you.
Yeah. No more French. No more French stuff inside of me. Yeah.
At the inn, the party gets a large room with 3 twin beds. An eerie sound disturbs their slumber. They hear the doorknob to the room being jiggled. They all glance at each other, nod, and keep watch on the door. The jiggling stops. The sound of a key being inserted into a lock and the click into place as the latch gives way startles the party further. Ben silently crosses the room and grabs a heavy chair. He stands behind the door, waiting to pounce. The door suddenly opens. Decision time. Party, do you immediately strike or do you wait to see who it is?
Oh, no, we're not putting up with this crap. We're going to strike.
Whoa. I actually would have gone with earlier Rick, where we would have, not taken the violent approach at first, but I'm all about killing, so let's do it.
Well, this is our safe space, and someone is invading it without saying a word. They get the chair.
Well, she told us earlier that one of those characters was going to be back, and it was going to be a good thing, right? So maybe that's.
I don't remember her saying it would be a good thing, but maybe you're right. I want to know why I have a chair in my hand when I have a perfectly good axe that I haven't used yet, but whatever.
All right.
I think you're in like a nightgown. You got like a whole Ebenezer Scrooge
you have
thing.
a little sleepy time cap on?
And just in the buff, totally other than the cap. All right, I say we go with Rick's plan and just attack.
Sure.
All right. Ben wheels around and slams the chair into the intruder. Skibbity Rizzler, why have you attacked me? The old woman has been laid out by the attack. It's the innkeeper. She must have forgotten which room she'd let you stay in. I'm calling the cops, she cries. Party, do you flee the scene or do you try your chances with the town guard?
Oh, no, we can explain this situation. Yeah. It's still trespass. Let's go.
That's right.
After a quick deliberation with the group, Ben bashes the old lady over the head with the chair. She won't be getting up anytime soon.
Ben.
The party dashes away into the early morning light. Ben's base instincts took over.
She's getting carried away with her power here, but it's her show, so we'll let her run it.
At least we didn't poop on this one. So
yeah, that's true.
Progress.
Yeah.
There was
we've been
extra
forced
pooping.
to do a lot of mean things to people so far. We had to poop in a homeless guy's cup. I guess he's not homeless. He has a daughter.
Well, so there's this lady back home who is homeless by choice. Her kids have money. They always have maintained that she's allowed to stay with them. She just refuses, right? She lives under a bridge. Yeah. So it's loosely based on that.
Yeah.
All right. We are nearing the end, dear adventurers. The last few steps on the road to the wizard's house are lain before you. Your quest to deliver the mysterious parcel is nearly complete. Are we feeling confident, lads? How are we feeling? We're going to complete this mission.
We're all alive. I feel confident.
Something bad is about to happen because we have a lot of hit points left still. So something bad is going to happen here.
I mean, in reality, you guys have had some good rolls. Aside from Lockmort, you guys have had some good rolls. So let us continue on. The wizard lives on the edge of the misty marsh. You must travel down Tornado Alley to get there. As they expected, the wind speeds pick up greatly as they make their way down the road. The party is clinging to each tree, boulder, and shrub along the way to keep from being knocked down by the swirling winds. From within the perpetual storm, they hear the chattering of teeth. Skeleton knights! 2 of them are approaching from behind you. 2 arms. Who will strike first?
Well, I've been kind of jumping on people, so who wants to strike first?
I'll do it since we have 2 flails anyway. So it would be good to put Ben in the middle here, I guess, to see what happens. So I'll go first. All right.
Locke, roll a 12-sided die. Try not to roll a 1.
A 2. Much better. Double.
A 2. Yeah. A medium strike takes out the skeleton's left knee. He picks up his own leg and bends the foot, hurling it at you like a boomerang. Lockmort rolled a dodge.
6.
Okay. You dodge out of the way. The leg boomerang returns to the skeleton. All right, Ben and Rick, who will strike next?
I'll take it. I'll do it.
All right. Roll a 12, please.
I got a 6.
6. Okay. A sound bash to the skull of the skeleton sends his head flying. The second skeleton knight hangs back for a moment before charging forward at you. All right, now Rick, you're up. The second skeleton readies to attack. Roll a 12-sided die.
Got this.
I am ready with a 5.
Okay. The skeleton knight dodges your attack, making xylophone noises when he moves. He slaps you with his bony hand. You lose 3 HP.
Damn.
Dang.
All right.
That's a good slap. Where did he slap me, man?
All right. Ben or Locke, which of you wants to strike next?
I'll go again.
All right.
I'll follow up.
Roll.
All right. 3. Oh my god.
The skeleton knight deftly pirouettes away from your attack, but you're fast enough to still land a blow. His left arm falls to the ground and turns to dust. Lockmort, the final strike falls to you. Please roll.
7.
With a spirited battle cry, Lockmort runs full speed at the skeleton and clotheslines it with all his might. There is a great plume of dust as the skeleton is obliterated and the great winds cease. As the dust settles, a pair of brand new boots appear. Do any of you dare to try the boots on?
Yeah, give me those boots. Hold on.
Ben puts on the boots. He is immediately racked with pain and screaming.
Damn it.
The flesh peels off his body, and his organs begin to fall out. His screams cease as his lungs and windpipe join the pile of viscera on the ground before them. Ben raises his bony hands up to his face, examining them with silent horror. The boots were cursed. Ben is now a skeleton knight.
But I'm still alive. I mean, relatively speaking.
Though cursed with this new form and unable to speak, Ben otherwise seems fine. The party continues on to finish this wretched quest and be on the way back home.
Attack
Ben is just not destined to finish this with a voice.
Yeah. This is the best case scenario, though.
Oh yeah, you're all still alive.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I no longer have all the physical needs you all peasants do, and I'm a knight, so I don't have to worry about clothes anymore.
You might be thinking all of that, but we just heard like nothing as your night jaw went.
It's just his skull just like flapping. At long last, the party arrives at the home of the wizard. The misty marsh is indeed quite misty, and you bump into each other as you shuffle step towards the door of the cabin ahead of you. The party knocks on the door. "Just a minute," a voice calls out. When he answers the door, he immediately conjures up a fireball at the sight of the skeleton standing before him. "No, wait!" Rick quickly and lawyerly explains that they are here to deliver a parcel and that Ben was cursed by skeleton knights on the way here. The wizard extinguishes the flame in his hand. "My deepest apologies. I can reverse the curse, but first, hand over the artifact that Mondale entrusted you with." Rick hands over the wooden box, and the wizard opens it. Inside is a small doll carved out of ivory. It's almost too subtle to notice, but you swear that the doll is breathing as if alive. The wizard's eyes flash red for a moment, and the party staggers back from the door. "No need to fear, so long as you leave immediately and tell no one what you've seen. Just a ditty party going on in here. I'll turn him back into flesh and blood if you depart at once." So party decision time. Do you trust the wizard to fix Ben, or do you trust your instincts and fight him?
Are our instincts telling us to fight him?
Yeah.
Well, because you notice that the doll was breathing, and it seems like much more sinister than just like an artifact that you've given him. Reading between the lines, it feels like the wizard, his eyes flashing red, feels like he's a bad guy. But it's up to you.
It's all superficial, really. From a legal perspective, we don't know anything that's going on.
We're just profiling this man.
This is very circumstantial evidence here we have. I just need to know: do I have a flesh and bone family at home?
I kind of wrote this like you guys are yourselves. So like I would assume that, you got the fams at home if you'd like to be human. But I mean, like they'd probably still like you, skeleton or not, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like
Rick is going to be, as soon as you show up, Rick's going to be like, Emily, it's him. All right. He's going to lawyer it up a bit and it'll be fine. So it's up to you.
My family would prefer to live with a skeleton who's stuck by their morals in case this wizard doesn't turn me back, a skeleton who's stuck by their morals rather than a flesh and bone coward.
All right. So are we choosing to fight the wizard unanimously?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's fight the wizard.
I don't think that's true, by the way. I think my family much prefers me with flesh. But
I would hope so.
I'm glad I don't think we're going to get to test this.
Yeah.
The wizard grins. Fools, the lot of ya! You will join my ivory army, and we shall bring the endless night. Lightning strikes out from his eyes, narrowly missing the party. It is time to fight. The final battle is here. Now, two of you ate the chili dog. However, Ben no longer has a stomach. So, Lockmort. Before anyone can move, Lockmort calls upon the chili dog in the depths of his bowels and unleashes a ghastly blast of ballpark vapors. The wizard chokes, his eyes watering. Now is the time to take advantage. Which of you will strike first?
I will hit him with my flail.
Okay. Rick, roll a 12-sided die, please.
Here it comes. Big roll. 5.
The wizard tries to parry your attack, but he's a second too slow. You drive the flail through his left hand, but while you're distracted, he launches a fireball at you with his right. You lose 3 HP. All right. Ben or Locke, who will strike next?
I'll jump in there.
All right. Roll a 12-sided die, please.
All right. 6.
Okay. Before you can even move, the wizard lashes out with lightning whips. You are struck with confusion, and you strike out at your party members. Lockmort loses 3 HP. Rick smacks you back to your senses. All right.
Worthwhile sacrifice.
Lockmort, it is up to you next. But first, from the distance, footsteps can be heard. The wizard has used his telepathy and called upon the Lodge of Enchanters. You must defeat the wizard quickly, or you will be overrun with mages to fight. Lockmort, please roll a 12-sided die.
12.
You charge at the wizard, and though he tries to turn away, you land a shattering blow to his knee. But the voice calls out, Luther! What have they done to you? I am here. It is one of the sorcerers from the lodge. Oh, this is a woman. My bad. She is. That was only a woman's voice. You know what? Maybe she was like Julia Child or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
She has shown up to fight. Help me, Kira. I am wounded. You'll now have to fight them both. All right. Who will strike next, Ben or Rick?
I would like to hit the newcomer with my flail.
All right. Please roll a 12-sided die.
5.
Rick calls upon the goddess of the mountain. Hear me, lady of the cliffs, and know that this sorcerer defiles your land. Nothing happens. The sorcerers laugh and high-five. You look like a chump. They don't even attack. They're so distracted by laughing at you.
Well,
you can re-roll this attack once. Rick, please roll again.
You got it. 3. Did that make the difference?
You call upon the goddess of the mountain again. Hear me, ladies of the cliff. Oh, lady of the cliff, just one. Just one, it ain't like that. Know that this sorcerer defiles your land. A low hum can be heard. The enemies look panicked for a moment. A sinkhole suddenly appears and swallows Kira whole. The mountain goddess has heard you. All right.
That's a pretty good 3, Rick.
It was.
Yeah.
Loosely speaking, the rules for my rerolls are just don't get a 1 again or something, you know? It's like you just, because I mean, like, otherwise you guys are just already dead.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing our best.
All right. Ben, you're going to strike next. Please roll.
I got a 7.
Okay.
Take him out.
You aim for the wizard's neck, and his ill-timed dodge allows you to land a hit squarely on his collarbone. He is in dire straits. You again hear footsteps, and this time another wizard steps into view. Luther, I am here. Caspar, I beseech your aid. They mean to kill me. Caspar studies the party, and his eyes land on Ben. You were cursed, aye? Join us, and I will return you to your former self. Decision time, Ben. Will you join the wizards or stay with your party?
I mean, the only reason they go back to being human is for my family. So if they're going to make me stay with them, then no, I'm not going to do that. Especially if I don't have any advantage to my stats or disadvantage as a skeleton. I mean,
yeah, you seem to be doing fine. You're holding your own. All right. Ben glances at his party members and then back at Caspar. Though a skeleton and unable to speak, the entire party can somehow hear his thoughts loud and clear. I wouldn't join you for all the sheets hamburgers in the world. Ben raises his axe to the sky, and a beam of light shines down upon him, bathing him in its warm glow.
Wow.
A thunderous voice, loud as a landslide, calls out, the power of loyalty sustain and heal thee. It is the mountain goddess. She has rewarded you for your courage. Ben is returned to his human form. The boots disappear. They will not hurt anyone ever again. Ben turns to his dear friends and says, shake and bake. And they reply, magic man. This is a reference from a very old movie. The party is reinvigorated. Who will strike next? You're all whole now. Ben's a human again. Everything's going great for you guys.
Is Ben eligible to hit again now that he's He-Man?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess so. You know, it's kind of up to you guys. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next, but Micah has to recant her statement that a movie that came out the year I graduated high school is, quote, very old. I'm going next.
I saw it in theaters, so I'm old too. All right. Ben, roll a 12-sided die, please.
I got an 8.
All right. Ben puts his palms together and begins weaving signs. A chill falls upon the air. A wind picks up. Snowflakes start to dance around you. I'm going to roll you downtown, Ben screams, and an avalanche of snow sweeps past and straight for Caspar. He cannot escape it. The river of snow carries him back to the forest whence he came. Wait, stop! I dropped my wallet! Lockmort picks up the wallet. It has $50 in it. That's more than enough for lunch at Cracker Barrel, Ben enthusiastically states. But Luther, in his broken state, is more furious than ever. He conjures a pillar of flames and sends it rolling towards the party. Without a second thought, Rick steps in front of the pillar of flames to shield the party. He has one shot to get this right. Rick, roll a 12-sided die.
You got it. 9.
Rick slashes at the flames, but his timing was wrong. The pillar slows down, but it does not stop. Lockmort or Ben must stop it. Lockmort, Ben, this last strike falls to you. You join hands.
We don't have to. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, what?
No. I thought we had to pick, but we don't have to pick.
Oh, no, not yet. Okay. Not yet. All right, Lockmort and Ben, this last strike falls to you. You join hands, weapons held high, and call upon the heavens. 30 cents for a dozen eggs at the 90 meat outlet. Roll for the final strike. Either of you need to do this roll with a 12-sided die.
Well, I've had terrible luck so far, Ben. So maybe this would be better if
All right.
we did it again.
All right, here we go. 9.
Oh, thank God. Good job.
Eyes laser focused and weapons gleaming in the sun, Lockmort and Ben time their strike perfectly and send the pillar of flames back to Luther. In his wounded state, he cannot move, and the flames devour him, along with the ivory doll. You have defeated the wizard Luther. The party pat themselves on the back and vow to render justice to the wizard who sent them on this quest. But first, they're going to Cracker Barrel and enjoying a weekday lunch special. That is the end.
Nice.
Wow,
We did it.
beautiful. Great
Well
job.
done.
Hunter.
Well done.
Awesome.
No one died.
Yeah.
No, there were
Well,
there
none
were
of us died.
opportunities.
Although we killed a lot of people.
There were opportunities. If you rolled a lower roll there, Ben, you and Lockmort both would have died.
Oh,
Well,
good. How much lower?
Thank God, Ben.
On that particular roll, a 1 through 6 would have been death.
Oof.
Anything over a 7 was survival. So
Oh, if
You did it.
If we died, what would have happened? Would Rick be the only one?
I would have
still?
told your story.
oh yeah, no. So if you guys died, and because you saved Morkvarg, he would have come and helped you. It actually would have been better if you guys died because that ending was like pretty sweet. Like, I'm just gonna say it, okay? So like Rick was the final one alive, and he got to yell, "I'm judge, jury, and executioner," and then he was gonna strike down the wizard. It would have been pretty fucking sweet, but
Damn.
unfortunately, you guys lived. So
Well, one of us is a skeleton man. Well,
Well, no, I got
a
transformed
revived
back.
skeleton man.
we fixed it.
Yeah,
we
it got
fixed it.
fixed. The goddess or whatever of the mountain fixed it.
See, the thing about doing these is, as you write it, you do have your preference on what you want to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for the sake of actually making the choices matter, yeah, I could write it so that no matter what, you get the funny outcome, but that's unfair. But so there's times when it's like, I really hope you guys eat the chili dog, but I can't force you to. I kind of hope Ben and Locke die at the end so Rick can have his moment of glory, but I can't force you to.
Right.
But it would be disingenuous to write it so that, well, you rolled a high roll and you still died,
Right.
But it is funny to write these and sort of get attached to certain outcomes. And it's like, I hope this happens, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I want to point out some of the references made that the audience, may have picked up on. Morkvarg is the werewolf from Witcher 3 in a certain mission. The fool's parsley is directly from the game. That is one of the ways you try to cure him, is by weaving a tunic with fool's parsley. Lady Morag is a character in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I really liked her a lot. And of course, we referenced Talladega Nights in here.
Uh-huh.
We're going for the 1400s meets early 2010s aesthetic.
Right.
With these
right.
campaigns.
Yeah.
I like that really old movie is from after I graduated law school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, really old is just anything before 2015 in my heart, in my soul. I'm ready for the endless night myself. I'm ready to just
2015 was like just the other day. Okay. I'm not even old yet.
It feels that way, but it's not. It's not.
I know.
But yeah, I hope you guys had fun with this. I hope you enjoyed this
Great
little
job.
campaign. My goal was to hit an hour of content, and we did that. So now I'm not going to be sweating anymore.
Nice.
You did awesome.
I enjoyed the
a lot
Pink
of
Floyd
fun.
reference. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And that was the key of like, yeah, this group's old enough to get that. Not old. Not old enough.
Right.
Seasoned.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well, it
great
was
job.
good. I had fun.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for participating. I, threw a couple saucy things in there, but I wanted to be overall respectful, which is why you weren't forced to give anybody sexual favors. Like I feel as if I'm a benevolent writer. I didn't want to force anyone to say on the internet in perpetuity, yes, I'll give the hand job,
Yeah.
I gave you guys outs. I feel.
What would have happened if we had also declined to kiss him?
That's not a choice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, damn.
Well, it's
fair
one of
enough.
those. I figured it's reasonable enough to just give a guy a kiss to cure
Right.
your voice, right?
Yeah, I
figured
think so.
someone would turn it down. That the reality is, when you write these, like the number of branching paths, the actual amount of content I have in this document is like 3 times what
Right.
we actually read, because of all the choices. Like you get down to the end and I have you and Lockmort die. And then it's if Morkvarg is alive, this happens. If he's dead, this happens. There's 3 different scripts for many of these outcomes. And some of them you just have to say, you're just going to have to do it.
Right.
It's the same as,
right.
For example, by the time I got to the point where you're going to hit the old lady with the chair or not, and it was just kind of funnier to be like, whether you decide to or not, Ben's just going to act impulsively.
Right.
And that was one of those ones where I did shoehorn you into something.
Yeah.
But it's because as I started to write that, I'm like, so now I got to write a town guard fight. And if you decide not to do it, that whole thing is just moot. And then I just wrote a whole fight that you won't even see. Like some of that stuff does happen. You making it perfectly down the waterfall in the beginning eliminated a large section where if you fail the first time, it's a whole thing. If you failed twice and left, you'd have to go back later to get the talisman.
Right.
So yeah, the branching paths quickly get out of control, especially because I'm just doing this in a Word document.
Right.
And I just have to limit your choices in some ways.
And I think that's what makes D&D can, like I said earlier, can be very intimidating to people who have never really played before. But that's what makes things like this fun, is because, if it were a real, I'm putting that in quotations for audio listeners, a real D&D campaign, that part at the waterfall would still be going on, because you would have been like, all right, now what's your modifier for this? And while that stuff has its place and, that's fun, like that's not always the point. But to your point about having so many branching paths, even people who are like preparing these things for weeks don't always have, don't always have every possible solution. I remember one time I was playing D&D with my buddy Adam, and my buddy's little brother wanted to play. His name was Nick. And we were in this cave, and he, Adam's describing, he's the dungeon master. He's describing the cave, and he's like, there's a crack in this wall, and, talking about the whole thing, just trying to put set dressing on it. And my friend's little brother, actually my brother-in-law's little brother, was like, what's in that crack over there? He's like, I don't know. It's just a crack. I just describing the cave. He's like, I want to reach in there and see if there's anything in there. He's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really have a scenario for that. Like, I didn't expect anybody. He's like, I want to go over there and do that. He's like, okay, I guess you could do that. And he's like, roll to see what you find. And he rolled like a 2 or something. He's like, a mouse bites your hand and you get poisoned for the next 3 turns. He's like, well, what would happen if I rolled a 20? He's like, I don't know, you would have found like a baguette or something. Like, I think DMs don't always, like, there's no possible way to prepare for anything anybody would say, which is why I was totally fine with you just being like, we don't have that scenario, because that's not what this is. This is just for fun. Like,
No, I'm always impressed by anybody that takes on the making and building of a campaign. I mentioned Lawyers and Dragons. David was our GM there, and I didn't intend to, but one of the things that I got known for was I would try to make friends with like all the monsters. I wanted them to join the party. I would try to talk to all of them. And so like my catchphrase became friends. Looks like a friend. Let's go get him. And like David would lose his mind, and he would be great on the show. And then he would tell us later, it's like, Rick, you're an insane person. I had this whole other thing written. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to. And even while you were going, Mike, I was like, okay, I wonder what the house looks like. Or I want to ask these other questions. I was like, no, this is much more written out. I don't want to throw her at all on that kind of thing. And so I thought it was great.
Well, thank you. Awesome. I feel like we had a good mix of personalities here as well. Whereas like Rick being a bit more friendly, kind to the world around him, Lockmort and Ben wanting to be a little bit more loose cannon, as it were, during the game. Like this, meshed very well. But it's like for the sake of not making it too much, because I can't really practice this out, right? I can do a kind of dry run through and say, if we go through this like set of scenarios, this might take us like 30 minutes. But it's really difficult to actually account for how long it would take. So yeah, this ended up, I feel, being a fun little campaign. I did, though, there are things I missed along the way. Like I did multiple read-throughs But it was like Monday night, and I realized I had written that Morkvarg was like, I'll see you again. And then I was like, I never made him come back. Now, he only comes back to help if Ben and Lockmort die, but I had to write all that. Like, it's Monday night. I'm like, crap, I didn't actually write his return. Like, I didn't actually make him come back, and you guys would be like, where the hell is he? So things like that. I really respect game makers who do this type of stuff. Of course, they're probably doing it on a computer program that helps them track things. But regardless, it really does put in perspective games like The Witcher, games, like with a lot of player choice. Like, man, how much goes into keeping track of all that and actually writing scenarios for each one. Or what we've talked about before with Mass Effect. And it's like only 1% of players choose to be this guy, but they wrote the whole thing anyways, right? So I heavily respect them even more after trying to write a slightly longer campaign, because my laws, this was a lot.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely crazy. And I remember seeing like some of the diagrams for something like Fallout New Vegas, where they have like the multiple different pathways, and then also based on the missions and the order that you've taken them in, like you might know some other stuff that you bring to the party in that particular context. And it's just crazy. And you mentioned Witcher 3. Witcher 2 is famous for having an Act 2 that's different depending on what you did in Act 1. And like, I have never kind of understood how, if you make those things, you could be okay with somebody just not even seeing half of what you made for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm clearly not okay with it, because I read you the ending where Rick gets to say the special line because I wanted. There's also there's another line we didn't get where a whole other scenario would have played out, and Lockmort would have said, "I wouldn't help you for all the Kuberduns in the world." And those are those delicious little triangle-shaped candies from Belgium. Is that how you say it, Lockmort? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's good. It was good enough. Good, super done. Yeah, that's good. Good job. Yeah.
But it's like
you sent me some of those one time.
They're delicious.
Oh my God. They're both in the mail right now.
Oh, okay. I get them again. All right.
They're so good. They're this like delightful Belgian candy. They're these triangle shaped, it's kind of like gushers, like fancy gushers. And they're so good. But I was like, I want to write those in somehow, but we didn't get to see that line. And yeah, Rick, to that point, I'm not okay with it, because I'm telling you all the things you guys missed out on because you didn't play it right.
No, I get that. It's wild to think that all that work goes in. And you get that when you play games over and over again and you say, I'm going to deliberately try to go this way, although I'm never a very good renegade shepherd. Yeah. Those things are too hard for me to actually accept. So I don't go that way. I bounce out pretty quick. But yeah, so much is written in these video games or in D&D campaigns like this one that you're going to get to see only a sliver of in order for that connectivity and choice making to feel right.
The very first time I ever played the original Fable, I got to the end and realized, like, I'm perfectly in the middle of good and bad here. And so I've played Fable like 5 or 6 times by this point, maybe even more than that. I don't know. And it's to the point where I find myself like staying right in the middle, which I guess is fine. But because I don't get to see all the effects of everything else, I'm like, okay, every possible time I have a decision, I'm making the bad decision or the good decision for this playthrough, because otherwise you don't really get to see that stuff a lot of times. And there are games that obviously have much more impactful things based on your decisions than even Fable. But I just remember that being like, I got to the end and I was like, oh man, I didn't get to see horns on my head or, anything like that.
Well, it's funny though. It really does change how you see your life. Like I had a situation last year where I was deciding whether to re-up my lease or not. And I was really right on the edge. And I said, okay, I will do that. And I released my office space. And then like a month later, my landlord contacts me and says, I've sold the building. And the new landlord comes in and says, I'm doubling your rent. And I'm like, oh, this is like one of those video games that just presents you with a false choice, then railroads you into the reality that it wants. I don't know what this is about. Like I literally had that thought, which is, yeah, so it didn't matter whether I re-up my lease. I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
You didn't make that scenario. I understand.
Mike, I'm going to try and convince you one last time this year, but if you like choices and consequences, Baldur's Gate 3 has the most of them you've ever seen in any game. And they'll spiderweb into different outcomes and different quests and different characters, and people will die and people will will come back alive. It's The Witcher times 10 in that regard.
See, I did look up gameplay for it because I was going to buy it, and I did not understand what I was watching.
You
I was
very
like,
quickly get it once you're actually doing
It's
it, I think.
super easy.
Well, I will because there's no physical edition of it, you know. So I'm like, all right, I'll buy a digital game. I'll buy the dirty little digital game, but yeah, you know, I wanted to make sure I'd like it, right? Because I was watching gameplay. I'm like, I don't know if I understand what's happening because I've never played a game like that.
I do think the combat's a little tricky because it does use all of those D&D rules, but you will figure it out before you're halfway done with Act 1.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys are confident that I'm smart enough to figure this out.
I didn't say anything about your intelligence. I just said I just said it.
I did. It's like, actually, dude, all right, there was a little debate on Summon Sign. Colin said that me using a guide to help with the puzzles in Zelda is the same as him using a guide to play the entirety of Metaphor, like Page. Yeah, and I was like, dude, one of these is a puzzle game, and I'm stupid. And the other one is just asking you want to go to school today or you want to go to the mall? And it's Metaphor, not Persona, but I haven't played Metaphor yet. But I'm like, that's not the same at all. It's not the same. Yeah. It's not the same at all.
I agree.
I had to get that off my chest.
Yeah, I think, how do I say this? I think using a guide for puzzles is fine because sometimes there are just puzzles you're never going to be able to progress in that game unless you figured out that puzzle. Or you're not going to be able to get this item. So like using the guide eventually, whether you decide to use it right off the bat or later is fine. There are even games that build in like skip puzzles, all that kind of stuff. So like that's a gameplay design that's meant for that. And if you can't figure it out and you want to experience the rest of the game, you have to do it.
You know what I really like?
Period.
You know what I really like on the version of that is I'm playing Rise of the Golden Idol. Yeah. And when you ask for a hint, it gives you a breathing exercise before you have to verify that you really want that hint. And it's like, it seems like the stupidest thing ever, but like this entire game is just puzzles, right?
Right.
And so you get that 3 seconds and you're like, no, I guess I can probably do this myself rather than you tell me the answer. Yeah. And it really works. It really is a nice little thing in a puzzle game.
Right.
So,
yeah. So using it for puzzles and if you get stuck in a spot, whatever, that's one thing. Using it because you're afraid you're going to miss something and knowing what the next thing that's going to happen is, even if it's only the one next thing, that just seems to defeat the whole purpose to me. But hey, I always say people should play the games they want and play them how they want. So
yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, we're all for allowing people to play how they want to play, though we begrudge them for it.
Yeah.
You know, what does the Bible say? Begrudgingly and under compulsion. Like, yeah, you know, we'll let you do it.
That's right.
But, you know, I don't approve, but it is what it is. Well, gents, you guys have earned your trip to Cracker Barrel.
I could actually go for some Cracker Barrel.
I love Cracker Barrel, right? And I think it's Thursdays is the turkey dinner lunch special, which is my favorite of the weekday lunch specials. You got to get there. I think it's Thursdays. I think Wednesday's the chicken broccoli bake. I don't like that. But you got to go Cracker Barrel for a weekday lunch if you haven't. It's not only is it a great value, it's a great time. But let's go around and say goodbye to our lovely participants who I am very appreciative of their time today. Rick, goodbye to you. Is Hogue House ready for Christmas? Is Hogue House abuzz for Christmas?
Well, we've got some injuries here in Hogue House that we're working through. So we've had some doctor's visits. We've had some hospital trips. We'll be okay. Nothing to worry about for too long, but it might put a little bit of a damper on the holiday season here. But overall, yes, we are ready-ish. We got another week or 10 days to actually put things together. So we are ready enough as it stands right this second.
Well, all right. I hope everyone is okay. And I hope you do still have a very Merry Christmas. And in this house, we say Merry Christmas because it's the only way I can say it. MERRY is the same as MARRY where I'm from. Colin can't stand that. But I wrote it down one time and I wrote the name Mary, MARY. I wrote Mary, MARRY, and Mary, MERRY. And I was like, these are all the same word. And I cannot say them differently, and I'm sorry. It just, it is what it is. Ben, goodbye to you, my friend. What do you got going on for the rest of your day?
The rest of the day, I just have a few little things to do around the house. Then the rest of this week, I'm recording. I don't know when the order of everything that's going to go up over Christmas and everything, but I've got to record my piece for Summon Sign tomorrow.
Yes, you're with Locke and I for that.
That's right. And then the next day, I'm doing another Constellation, I think with Chris and Cog, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, recording the next couple of days, and then it's basically Christmas. So
rolling into it. Yep. Merry Christmas to you, my friend Lockmort. Last, certainly not least, the person I accidentally insult at every turn. I'm not good at vamping.
Every time.
I'm not good at improv. If I don't write it out, it just flies out of my mouth before I can think about it. But Lockmort, appreciate you very much being here. What I appreciate the most is that you saw the first campaign and the absurdity of it, and you said, "What the hell? I'll do another one." So thank you, Lockmort. What do you got going on the rest of your day?
Well, the rest of my day, it's like 9 p.m. here. So the rest of my day is...
I'm up till 4 a.m. every day, Locke. That's hours. You have hours to fiddle with.
That's true. Well, I got a little bit of work left. But then after, I think tomorrow we have to do Summon Sun, right? And then after that, I think I'm completely done with everything for the rest of the year. So I have 2 weeks off, I think. Yeah, 2 weeks off. Also 2 weeks where there's no money coming in. So that's not good. But I'll try to enjoy it anyway. Yeah.
I have that like indefinitely now, so it's great.
I mean, Lockmort, the money's not coming in anyways because you don't invoice us for it.
I invoice Colin. I don't know what he wants from me, by the way. Oh, yeah, let's clear this out. That's a good one because he mentions this so many times. I don't know what does he want me to invoice him $10 every week? I can. If
you're having issues with their contract fulfillment, you just let me know, Locke.
I wish I had a contract. That would be fun, but sadly I don't. But
that's another thing you can let me know of.
Oh,
full service provider.
That's it. Okay, deal. I'll have you on retainer. No money right now, but maybe after I invoice people, we'll work it out. Yeah. But thank you for having me, Mike. It was so much fun. You're always so much fun to be on everything. But you did a fantastic job here. Always a delight. You're amazing.
Thank you. Well, to our dear listeners, I wish you all a very happy holiday season, a Merry Christmas, a joyous Hanukkah, a fun Kwanzaa with whatever the hell you're doing with that. You know, it's Kwanzaa, man. Like, it's not real. And it's a weird mishmash of holidays, and there's no gifts. And it's like, you may as well just not. But to our listeners, thank you for your support over at patreon.com/laststandmedia. Thank you for your support of the store, laststandmedia.store. We appreciate you very much. This is Micah Moriarty signing off for the gang. Happy holidays, everyone, and good night.
Goodbye.
Constellation is a product of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show was conceived by and is directed and hosted by me, Colin Moriarty. My co-host is my brother, Dagan Moriarty. The show is produced by Last Stand's executive producer, Dustin Furman, and is edited by associate producer, Ben Smith. All Last Stand theme music is by Ramon Narvaez, and all of our graphics and logos are by Dagan Moriarty. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's podcasts, including Constellation, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest support tier, and we're infinitely grateful for your thoughtful and kind contributions to our independent endeavor.